So I can't get myself to mean it when I say Eid Mubarak today. I've been flinging it around to everyone reflexively like I'm some sort of robot. But I just can't get myself to mean it. By its literal translations, Eid means festival, celebration, or holiday. And Mubarak means blessed, fortunate, or congratulations. But what are we really celebrating? What are we really congratulating? How are we blessed or fortunate? Eid is meant to be a term that exemplifies happiness. That's why the term Eid is not just used for our holidays, it's also used for our birthdays, where we say Eid Milad. It is ultimately meant for us to celebrate one more year on this earth, but I just don't feel right celebrating anything right now. We just watched Israel attack and kill Palestinians, shopping on the eve of the holiday we are celebrating today. Israel just yesterday bombed and killed a mother waiting outside for her two girls that were in the store shopping. Israel killed Palestinian children via a drone strike on the eve of Eid al-Adha. And Israel didn't stop there. They are still bombing and killing Palestinians today as we speak. Israel just killed a Palestinian resistance leader, his wife, and all his children just today on Eid al-Adha. Israel is killing Lebanese families in Lebanon as we speak on Eid al-Adha. While in the West, we have the highest rate of anti-Muslim hate in history, with a Jewish supremacist lynch mob literally holding a rally outside a Muslim NYC mayor's house on the eve of Eid al-Adha, calling for the removal of all Muslims from New York City. So celebrating what? Eid what? Today Muslims celebrate Eid al-Adha, but let me rephrase that. Today Muslims should be observing or practicing al-Adha, which means observing or practicing sacrifice. For example, sacrificing your time and energy into fighting for the oppressed, sacrificing the fruits of your labor, your money to help families in need, sacrificing your own bodies to fight for the people being erased off of this earth as we speak. Eid is just a qualifier to describe the celebration of something. But what are we celebrating right now? Tell me. Because what Eid al-Adha represents are the ultimate examples of submission, faith, and trust, highlighting the importance of charity, selflessness, and sharing blessings with the less fortunate. That is what Eid al-Adha is all about. So we should be taking this fortune of simply being alive, especially in our places of privilege, to bring as much light and charity as humanly possible to Palestinians, Congolese, Sudanese, and all those being purposely erased that we deem as less fortunate, considering they are being actively slaughtered until this very minute on this Eid al-Adha day. The only ones who should be actively celebrating today are the children. Although our joy as adults may be fleeting in these dark times, it is our duty to keep the joy alive in our children at all times. So don't take this as a guilt trip. Take this as a call to action. This applies to Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Okay, there. I said what I said. But here's where I'll flip the tone. Because although Israel and Jewish supremacist Zionists steal literally everything in order to form any semblance of a self-identity that simply doesn't exist, I refuse to let them steal my Eid, my celebration. Because if there is one thing to celebrate, it is their destruction, their demise. I celebrate the fact that the latest global perception ranking of democratic countries has Israel ranked as dead last globally, with the US just a few spots above it. I celebrate the fact that Israel's economy is in shambles, where boycotts are working, global businesses are retreating, universities are divesting, and their tourism is in the shitter. I celebrate the fact that these demons are offing themselves at the highest rate they have ever experienced. I celebrate their internal implosion, to which their own experts indicate that Israel is unable to maintain consensus on fundamental issues like the country's constitutional identity and judicial authority, which are signs of a state's inevitable demise. I celebrate that they are running out of terrorists that want to join their terrorist military, and that they are trying to force a draft bill that the Orthodox Jews would rather go full kamikaze on before ever joining the military. I celebrate that more and more politicians are now distancing themselves from Israeli lobby groups like AIPAC, which are on the inevitable path of being registered as foreign agents, which will eventually lead to the Western world cutting off all funding to them and ultimately disintegrating the very existence of their terrorist ethnostate. I celebrate that the whole world is awake to their evil and all their self-victimizing nonsense. I celebrate that we live in a day and age where people of all walks of life wear their kufiyas proudly, daring anyone to step to them because they know they stand firmly on the side of humanity. I celebrate the fact that they are their own demise, where every breath you take, every move you make, you dig your own grave. That is what I celebrate. That is what we can celebrate. And to that, I say, Eid Mubarak.